we are covering verses from Ashtavakra Gita. In the first chapter, what is very important that we have the seeker asked the question how the knowledge of the reality, the real self is attained, how dispassion is attained, and how uh, freedom from the mind is achieved. So, have you inquired about these questions? Dispassion, knowledge of the real self, and freedom from the mind. We wake up in the morning in the waking state. Sometimes we get upset inside, but we don't think, we don't express it outside. Sometimes we express of being upset outside in our relationship. So sometimes we really act out of the anxiety. So you see that it is all because there is no dispassion. Simple thing, there is no dispassion. So that is why, this text asks us that I should contemplate. The question asked by the seeker should become my question, my burning question. I don't want to be upset at any single moment in my life. And when you start inquiring, you will find dispassion is the potent weapon for it. And then in the chapter 1, Master explains the very nature of the real self. One example, if I say, a tumbler is nothing but glass, or a cup is nothing but the clay. Clay appears, but the real thing is clay. Many houses appears, but it is all the space. All the space. So in the chapter 1, he explained beautifully what exactly is self, what is real self, how to know that real self through many examples. In the second chapter, because the seeker lives at the highest state, he is an intense seeker. So he is explaining, oh, I got it. This is my experience. So that is what I said, that I should listen to it and then I should ask myself how I can have this experience without comparison. No comparison. How? How? If he has this amazing experience, how can I have it? So this text gives us a clue that are we living at a higher state of meditation or not? Tantu matro bhaved eva patu yadvad vicharitah. What he says? That we have to do a self-inquiry. We have to think it. What we think? So he gives another example. That is beautiful example. Tantu matro bhaved eva patu. That we will Atmatanamatram Vedam Tadvad Vishwam Vicharitam. So there are two metaphors explained. But before that, let us lay a foundation. I remember there is the oldest text of yoga. That name of the text is known as Yoga Vasisht. Yoga Vasisht. So Yoga Vasisht, in that Yoga Vasisht, the master explains there are 4 gatekeepers that helps us to enter into the kingdom of freedom. there are four gatekeepers. Yoga Vasishtha is one of the oldest texts. It has maybe 100,000 verses. So out of which one verse says there are four gatekeepers. First gatekeeper is peace, inner peace. Second gatekeeper, that is why I am referring this verse, second gatekeeper is vichara. Vichar means self-inquiry. The entire text is based on self-inquiry. I have to think in a particular direction the way the teacher is guiding, not the way I know. I start thinking, oh, what is the ultimate? What is the ultimate of the matter? So all the matter consists of atom. Then atom consists of electron, proton, neutron. Then we have another understanding that particle acts like a wave. So wave is energy form. So we have a quantum physics. Then our life is only energy. Now my direction of thinking, inquiring is from the physics. So where I land up, that everything is energy. So where is this I who is thinking about energy? Who is this I? Is energy this I? No. Energy cannot be I. Energy is not conscious. So where is the consciousness? So that is why we have to think. So first gatekeeper means the peace. Peace means quiet mind is happy mind. Only the happy mind can enter into the higher meditation state. I'm in anxiety, let me sit in meditation. No, that will not be possible, especially in this journey. Now, second gatekeeper is known as inquiry. We need to contemplate on the real self again and again in our daily life. This is what the master, we spend mind in self-inquiry or spend time on who I am. How we do it? The first condition, we should be available for this inquiry. At the same time, the master says the third gatekeeper is contentment. Where is contentment? At the age of 90, I divorce and remarry. It is not contentment. Now, I'm just giving one example of divorce and marriage so you can use it different. And the fourth, he says satsanga, listening and learning from the teacher, because teacher will invoke those principles that will trigger your mind and the intellect, drop the impurity, and you can see the reality. That is why the master in a disciple tradition, seeker listens and absorbs. Now understand what basic fundamental is hidden in this verse. Bondage. How I can attain freedom. How can I release that bondage? That was the question in the first chapter. So what exactly is the bondage? So in this verse, the principle used here, that the seer and the seen are identified as two. Seer and seen. So what is this seer and seen business? I see you. So you are seen and I am the seer. I am the knower. You see that? I know you. So who comes first? I comes first. So what the master is saying, the seer or the knower alone exists. Take an example of the waves in the water. The water alone exists, but I see the wave. Little typical, but more and more you will inquire, you will find out the freedom. And what is liberation? Liberation is freedom from the mind. So who is looking at the world? The mind, freedom from the mind. So when I become free from the mind, then what is left? The world is not there. Word appears true, but it is not true. What it means? The waves appear true, but it is not true. Who is the knower now? So let us go a little deeper. Inquiry. No, that is why I refer that verse. Peace, self-inquiry, contentment, and satsang. You are listening and learning from a teacher who invokes the principle in this context. Who is the seer? First level of the seer. Sense organ sees the world. So sense organ, you see the first step? Sense organ is the seer and the world is known and world is seen. Now, what is the operating principle to understand? If the seer is changing, that is not the real seer. So, are the sense organ changes? Yes, that's why I have glasses after a particular age. So, it means it is changing. It cannot be the real seer. But now I have to inquire who is knowing all the sense organs? Who knows all the sense organs? So, second level, the sense organs are seen by the mind. Mind is the seer. You see that? Without the mind, I cannot know which sense organ is functioning. So that is the second level. Now check, is the mind changing? If the mind is the seer and the knower, mind is constantly changing. I get upset today, I sleep and I dream and I do. I am in peace, I'm excited. So mind is constantly changing. So who knows that this mind is constantly changing? Who knows this? So the third level, here is the mind, which is constantly changing. There has to be someone behind the mind who knows that the mind is changing. Otherwise, I cannot know. Do you see that? That is the real seer. That is the real knower. And what is that? That is pure consciousness. What is that? That is my real self. What is that? That consciousness, that real self is full of peace and happiness. That real self is full of peace and happiness. Are you getting it? Are you getting it? Understand another point, and then it becomes very clear. Oh, this pasta is very tasty. This is a thought, right? That is one type of thought. And who is the owner of that thought? When I say, I feel this pasta is very tasty. I thought, or the thought is pertaining to the I, and thought is pertaining to the world. So there is a doership and there is a ownership. Now what we are understanding? We are understanding this verse, and what this verse says in this chapter. The seeker narrates, this is my experience. He is not interested whenever I see blue color, red color. Master says, if you want to see the blue color, why you want to see in the meditation? But they are good experiences. They are good experiences. They gives us an idea that the mind is going deeper within. It is not a thought, it is a color. But at the same time, whatever the experiences this seeker undergoes, we have to inquire. We have to inquire. We have to inquire. So it means what I said, senses are the doer, seer, mind, and then the real self. So once I reach there at the level of the real self in constant day-to-day experience, that is what is known as awakening. That is what is known as we have found the permanent happiness and peace. One more here to understand. This knower, this real self has independent existence, and the rest have dependent existence. To know you through the sense organ, I have to depend on the eyes. But that real self has an independent existence. That independent existence. So now if you look at it, what this verse says, what the verse is saying, Tantu matro bhavete pato yadvad vicharitaha. Vicharitaha means self-inquiry. So what the inquiry is? Just as cloth, when analyzed, when contemplated, is nothing but thread. This world, when analyzed, is nothing but real self. It's a big statement, and it's a beautiful experience. What is? All cloths, soft, long, colorful, are made from the thread. One unit of thread that has an independent existence, but many millions of the thread can create a cloth of different colors. One real self appears as many. One real self appears as many. What it means, one real self appears as this guy, Stephen, David, Jerry, Terry, one real self. This is a point of inquiry. We have to constantly inquire how this is possible. We need not to compare and get up, say, no, I don't have this experience. I have to do the practice. So what he says, just as cloth, when analyzed, we found nothing but thread. He is using a metaphor. Now he compares this metaphor, the world that is seen, which have a dependent existence, is nothing but real self. Nothing but real self. Here is a plastic bottle. It's a bottle. Let me find out where it is a bottle. Here it is plastic. Here it is plastic. Here it is plastic. Where is a bottle? Where is a bottle? Bottle is not here. It is only plastic. But it appears bottle. When I come to your house and I say, can you give me a glass of water? Oh, there is no tumbler. All is glass. That will not work in the transactional reality. Huh? Do you see it? Oh, what is your home address? Oh, there is no home. It is all space. In transactional reality, we need to work at this level. But this appears true. The bottle appears true, but it is not true. When it is not true? When we are in search of the real self. What is that real self? What is that pure consciousness? That is our goal. Are you getting it? Same thing, we give one more example of a clay and a clay pot. Clay pot appears to exist, but it does not exist. So you see that how our masters guide us through the simple principles. They said there are three levels of perception. One level of perception is totally untruth. Can I think of elephants flying in the air? It is untruth. Then there is an absolute truth. What is that absolute truth? Consciousness is the ultimate reality. And in between, there is the word we use, mithya. What is mithya? That appears true, but it is not true. What appears true? That you and me are different. It appears true, but essentially it is not. It cannot be. It cannot be. Clay pot appears true, but it is not. Wave appears true, but it is not. So I see it. I see the clay pot the same way I see the world. I see the world outside. It appears true, but it is not true. What that appearance is true is what we say Maya. Remember, illusion. You are not Maya. What appears true to me? What appears true to me that you are different from me? That is illusion. You are not an illusion. I am not an illusion for you. Are you getting it? Something? Is it triggering your mind? So this is what Master says. Tantu matro bhaved pato yadvad vicharita. The Master is saying, don't practice meditation. You continue inquiry, contemplation, reflection. Follow the same reasoning through the intellect. Why? The intellect will remove its illusion. Mind will be purified. In that purified state of the mind and the intellect, you see, you experience that real self. So just think of it, what the seeker is experiencing. He is saying that I'm experiencing as this world appears to be true. It is not, because the fundamental element, fundamental substance is consciousness there. Hence, all is consciousness. I see the waves in this water, in an ocean, but fundamentally it is water. Many structures appear in the world, which we say home office, skyscraper, condo, but actually it is the space. Without the space, you cannot have it. I have that experience. It is amazing. So in this chapter, the second chapter, we will undergo such experiences. So let us start our journey of meditation.